is to help you position yourself for success. What success? Success in life and success in your careers. This is a life and death situation. I don't mean you're going to die if you don't figure it out, but you've seen enough movies to know you're going to get old quick. You'll be 20 before you know it, you'll be 30, and you'll be going, what's going on with my life? You'll be wondering. And while you're wondering, the bills are coming in. Next thing. Do you take public transit? What do you see on public transit every morning? What kind of reactions do you see? You see people, that's a good start. What do you see on public transit? Someone tell me.
Lots of people tired and dead.
Tired and dead. Oh, who are you? Tired and dead. Yes. And some of these people are not much older than you. Why are you tired and dead? Because, before I answer, you tell me. Why are they tired? They're not happy. They're not happy with their lives. They're not happy. Some of them are not happy with their partner. Some of them are not happy with their kids. I'm just saying. Yes. They're definitely not happy with their job. Because they chose a job they thought they should have. Remember I told you about drifting and how you'll be 30 and not know what's going on? The bills are coming in. So you grab the first big job you get, and you hate it. Here's the equation. You have to make money. Sorry, not have to. It's important you make money to survive. Right? You got that part. So to make money, you're going to want to need a job that's going to generate money really fast for you, every week, every 2 weeks. Got that? But if you hate the job, and that's your only source of income, got kids to feed too, then guess where the misery comes from? You are, well not you, but these people are trapped. They're prisoners in their own mind. And we're having this day for you today, so you could casually, no pressure today, you got no kids screaming in your ear, so you can casually say to yourself, how do I want my life to look? What jobs do I, look at that, oh, so relaxed. Not like the 30-year-old that's got bills, but relaxed and chill. So take this time today to start, if you haven't already, reflect on how you want your future to be, because you get to choose how your life is. Your parents might tell you that life tells you what to do. They are wrong. You tell you what to do. So I'm going to give you some sort of bad news. And the bad news is, everything that's going on in your life is your responsibility. It could be good news too. So if things are going wrong, I'm not talking about outside people messing with you, but if things are going wrong, the first place to look is in the mirror. Can you take that? Can you handle that? And the people who don't look in the mirror are the most miserable because they're looking for someone else to tell about their problems. Okay, Ingrid is going to share a little bit about herself because she's here with me as well. And Ingrid's got huge qualifications. I think you've been a professor or something like that. Okay.
Hi. So I'm really happy to be with you today, all of you. I was really excited to be here. My name's Ingrid, as Michael said. My background's in education. I have 20 plus years in higher education, actually. I've worked at universities in Kuwait, Jordan, Egypt, and Canada. I absolutely love my new career, which is working with students like you all over this area. And I guess that's it for you.
Okay, let's talk about you again. Well, actually, let's talk about what I do first thing in the morning. I meditate every morning for 1 hour. And it's not because I'm stressed, it's because I want more. Do you know what I mean when I say I want more? Do you know what I mean when I say I want more? What do I mean when I say I want more? Barry, I'm starving. I can't get enough on my plate. Don't you want to live a life like that? Where you can't get enough stuff to do? That you got like 3, 4 jobs, or you got 4 different projects you're working on, the money's flowing, and you still want more. Again, you could be that 30-year-old who didn't figure it out. And you will lose that hunger. You'll think everything's just fine. All right. When I meditate, at the end of the meditation, I set intentions for the day. Why do I set intentions for the day? Because I want my day to go the way I want it to go. So today, because I'm working with lovely Ingrid here, I set intentions for ease and flow. And I did it so that this will flow, we will flow. After I leave here, things will flow. Ease and flow, that's my intention. So I intend for my day to go pretty good. What did you think about this morning when you woke up? Did you think your day was going to be crappy?
Yes, of course.
Okay, no, seriously, did some of you think your day was going to be crappy when you woke up?
Yes.
Okay, good news. Thank you for telling me that. So why don't you start today practicing setting intentions for the day you want. So unless you want a miserable day, you want to set some new intentions. So what Ingrid and I are going to do. What?
You want to wipe your slate right clean.
Yes. Yeah, like I said yesterday.
Yes.
Every day is a blank canvas. We had art students yesterday. We didn't think a blank canvas meant anything to you. But every day, your mind is a blank canvas. You get to write a new story every day. So if you thought you sucked yesterday, you get to write a new story today. Like maybe you don't suck.
Get through paint.
What was that?
You get through paint.
Yes, you get to. Oh yes, you will get chocolate too. You get to repaint the day. So, what colors are you going to paint your day today? Red, vibrant colors, right. So what we're asking you to do, we're going to give you an exercise to do right now. This is an individual exercise, so you two won't be able to talk. Right? It's an individual exercise. There'll be no phones involved. We won't be involved. We're going to play some nice music in the background. You're going to spend 3 minutes with your eyes closed, and you're going to reflect on two things. You're going to reflect on your intention for today. What do I want my day to look like? What do I want to happen? Number two, you're going to also think about your vision for 2020. What do you want to happen in 2020? This is how success works. Successful people plan for success. That's how they do it. They don't sit around waiting for it to show up. Because what shows up might not be what you want, and you do get what you want if you put your mind to it. So, we're going to ask you now to close your eyes for 3 minutes, and we'll help you through this, because some of you will giggle. We'll help you through this. And for these 3 minutes, what do I want you to do? Is anyone paying attention? What are we doing? Yes?
What about your day, about 2020?
You're going to set intentions for the day, and you're going to create a vision for 2020. Got that? Great. Ingrid, you good?
Yes, I'm good.
All right, so I'm going to put on the intention music. Yes, there's music for intention. Ingrid?
Yes.
Close your eyes.
Pardon?
Close your eyes.
Close my eyes? Okay, so we're going to close our eyes now, okay? 1, 2, 3, everyone's closing their eyes. There'll be no talking. We're going to just breathe deeply. The kind of breath where your belly kind of, with an inhale, it expands, and then out. Very slowly and deeply for a couple minutes. So, inhale.
I hear laughs already. This is serious business. Life and death.
And you're just going to clear your mind and think about intentions. What are your intentions? You're going to let them flow to you for the day and for 2020. Breathe.
Stop thinking about the bad marks, bad things you said yesterday. Think about a brand new day, blank slate. I thought you were laughing. 3 minutes, we can do this. What's my vision for 2020? Okay. Minute 30. 1 minute.
Still breathing deeply.
Doing great. 40 seconds. Seconds. Almost there. You will now gently open your eyes. Great work. Give yourselves a hand. Great work. Very mature group here. In fact, this morning when I came in, I was very impressed with how you're dressed. I see students at schools that wear uniforms and they tend to be sloppy, and it's nice to see that there's some self-respect at this school. You have some pride. The halls are clean. Everyone's friendly. I thought they were clean.
It's only because our custodians work extra.
As what?
They work at overtime, basically.
Who the custodians? Oh, okay. Well, you guys are a busy school then. All right, so let's share with some of you. Upcoming in a few minutes, we're going to be listening to Chris Mish. He's behind there. He is from Sun Country Highway. He's going to talk to us about electric cars, electric vehicles. It's going to be a really interesting conversation. But first, let's talk about your intentions for the day or your vision for 2020. Who is going to speak first before I come and pick somebody? Someone must have. Will you please stand, please? Okay, so give us your intention for the day. There could be many, and your vision for 2020.
My intention for the day
Intention?
is, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. To go to the gym and reduce my time for swimming, so I can make it to OFSA this year. And then my goal for 2020 is
Your vision.
my vision for 2020 is to get my G2 and start driving.
And what will driving do for you?
Kind of open up more roads for me.
Oh, it is. Thank you.
How about you? Would you like to share your intention for the day and your vision for 2020?
We have to stand. You will have to stand. No, there's no have to. We'd like you to stand.
Thank you.
What is your name, by the way?
Halima.
Halima?
Yes.
Michael. It's a pleasure to meet you. Okay.
Today I want to finish.
Hold on, I'm going to make sure that everyone's wet first. You guys good?
Today I want to finish my homework when I get home, and I want to finish my cadet uniform so I can go to cadets on time today. And my vision for 2020, I forgot what I was thinking.
Something big, something that you feel in your stomach, right? Like it's making you scared. That's a great vision to have.
I want to place at provincials this year for DECA.
Excellent.
Ah.
What would I do for you?
I would qualify for internationals.
Okay. Okay, so you're playing a big game.
Very good.
Thank you.
My intention for the day is to finish all of my homework so I can have fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta have fun in your life.
Yeah, I know. And then I also just want to revise my work so I won't fall behind.
So is this for what?
No, for school, I just don't
Okay.
want to fall
And then your vision for 2020 is?
behind.
You get something, do you have a big vision, something scary?
No,
Okay, that means you're courageous. What do you have for us for vision for 2020?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Well, pick something. You have a life, right?
Yeah.
You got school, you have a job, you got family. There's nothing you want to change in 2020?
Well, I won't change
change. I just want to start getting a job.
Okay, well say that.
I just want to start getting a job.
You've never had a job before?
No, I thought it would be a good experience for me to actually work.
Okay, what would you get from working?
Money, yeah.
Okay, what other than money?
Learning how to become like an adult.
There you go.
Start working.
There you go, great. Thank you very much! Something to think about today is this. This is the question you want to think about today. What game am I playing? Am I playing a small game? Am I playing a medium game? Or am I playing a big game? If you're playing a big game, you want to soar. You don't want anyone to hold down your wings, you just want to fly. So keep that in mind. Which game are you playing? We'll come back to that later. Without further ado, we're going to, before he comes up, just a couple of things before we go to Chris. If we do this, if we do this, which we're asking you to do.
Okay, let's all do that.
Sorry. When we do this, it means be quiet. You're young adults, we don't want to scream at you. So we do this to calm it down. If you want to go to the bathroom, don't ask us. You're young adults, just go. All right? We don't care. Because we assume you're going to come back after you use the bathroom. And if you don't, then you're not really serious about life or school. That's a different conversation. And there was one more, cell phones. Yes, I see you put them away, so obviously your school's working on that with you. We ask that if you have a text or a phone call, that you just simply excuse yourself and deal with it outside. So there'll be no phones in here. If I see a phone, I'm assuming you're getting up to go outside. You will be using your phones later for information and reference. At lunchtime, you're certainly welcome to use them and at breaks. Okay.
And I'd also like to add, so today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about ideas later on as we get into the workshop. And the one thing we want, here you're all very cozy and familiar with each other. However, when you go on, how many of you are going on to college or university after this? Wonderful.
Wow,
wonderful. Okay, there will be a different situation, right? You won't quite know a lot of people. You've got to get into all kinds of new groups. So what we ask is that you work on your communication skills today. You'll be coming up with ideas. We ask that you respect each other, you communicate, you listen actively, you be in the present moment, and you treat each other with respect. Okay, so that is rule of the day.
Be receptive.
Yes.
Yes, be open.
Yes.
Let things that normally don't show up, let them show up and see what's there. Be curious today.
Yes.
In fact, we say be curious in your life. In fact, some employers will ask you, are you curious? And the wrong answer would be, no, I'm not. Yeah, because some people would say, they think it's safe to say, oh, no, I'm not curious. Like, they think that's going to get them the job. Think about the question. If someone's asking you, are you curious? They wonder if you have an appetite for an expansive mind. If you're curious about bigger things than just what's in front of you. Ingrid?
Okay, so right now I'm really excited to introduce Chris Mish from Sun Country Highway. We are absolutely thrilled and really excited to hear this class.
Come on down.
Hey guys, we're shaking. So I talk a lot, so I'm going to tell you guys some stories. I'm going to be a little bit anecdotal. I'm going to try to be a little animated. I'm a serial entrepreneur, okay? So serial entrepreneurs have an interesting way to deliver information. That said, I'm also a faculty member at a post-secondary institution, so I can also try my best to make it a little bit more focused for you, okay? But I think the key for today is that I share my own experience. Would you agree? You want to learn a little bit about what it takes to do something that others would tell you you're nuts. Am I right? But I'll tell you this. I do what I want, when I want, I make a lot of money doing it, and I enjoy life, just like Michael talked about. I get up every day before my alarm goes off because I waste time sleeping, right? I get up, I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? So when I get up, I'm so excited because I'm already jacked about what I'm going to do, what I'm going to accomplish, the people I'm going to meet. And you guys, I'm going to be honest with you, this is a highlight of my week. I love when I can actually just share some stories and not do my normal, typical stuff, okay? So let me just set the table. And what I mean by that is give you a little bit of a rundown of sort of who I am. And I'm going to tell you some bad news. I didn't bring my Tesla today. No eggs, no tomatoes. Listen, I live on the lake in Grand Bend. Does anybody know where Grand Bend is?
Sort of.
Okay, yeah? It's a beach town. I'm a beach bum, okay? Even though I got, you know, a very white complexion, sun doesn't like me, I love the beach. Sunscreen. So I woke up this morning, buses were canceled, local school was closed, fog and freezing rain. I was going to bring a 2010 Tesla Roadster, hand-built carbon fiber supercar, but it has summer tires on it and has this much road clearance. I didn't bring it. So my apologies, if I was a little closer, it would have been here. That said, I'm going to share some stories with you guys about being behind the wheel of many electric cars, Model S's, mostly Teslas in my life, but I've also had the privilege of being in some really cool cars. So we'll talk about those. Any drivers in the room, people that love, obsess about vehicles? What's your dream car? An R34. Wow, it's too bad. Well, you know when Michael said ice? You know what came to my mind? Who's the shop people in the room? Internal combustion engine, right? That's what came to my head. Because I always, when I drive my car and someone's parked in my spot, I get iced. Meaning somebody with their internal combustion engine car is parked where I need to be. Okay, so that's a term that we use. I'm going to weave in a little bit of the about my lifestyle and sort of what it takes to be an effective entrepreneur. So I'll weave that through as well. Quick bio. I'm a physiologist. You guys are all going, what? What the hell is this guy talking about? Yes. And I was in healthcare administration. Okay? I used to own clinics. Okay? I have a rich dad, poor dad story. Anybody in the room read Robert Kiyosaki? Yeah?
Yeah, I read his Rich Dad Poor Dad while in the process of reading it.
Good for you, man. I love it. I love it. Anybody else know him? Okay, great guy, mentor. Great Canadian, made a lot of money doing really cool stuff. I have a rich dad, poor dad. You guys want to hear that story real quick? Can I do that, Michael? Okay. So I'm a physiologist. I went to school, did a lot of degrees, right? Because I wanted to apply myself. I wanted to do something big in life. And I did well with that. And my poor dad, who really isn't poor, by the way, but go to school, go to school, go to school, right? Told me save, save, save for your education. So I did. I worked from your age right through university. I paid for my own education in cash. When I was 18 years old, I had $29,000 in the bank. And back when I was your age, 5 or 6 years ago, that was a lot of dough, right? I could have went and blown it on a car. I could have bought stereo systems and all kinds of cool stuff. I didn't. Because my poor dad, who wasn't poor, he became a successful employed human being, but he was an employed person, like gainfully employed. He used to open Walmart stores across Canada, okay? My rich dad was the opposite. Went to college. Actually, used to teach trades overseas, okay? He went to Africa and helped open a school there and did that kind of thing, but realized very quickly he was an entrepreneur. And ever since then, started opening businesses. It took me a while, but I realized I really liked his lifestyle. He was traveling the world. He was waking up when he wanted to wake up. He was taking ideas and going, hey, what can I do with that to bring that to life? What can I do to make that really grow and flourish? And then be a part of that, okay? And so I walked out of the hospital one day and I signed my resignation. And I walked out the door because I wanted to chase the dreams that I was constantly having in my head, right? And so I did. I left a 6-figure income, a pension, benefits, all that good stuff. My wife thought I was nuts. But I drove home that day invigorated. And I started a company called Sun Country Highway, which is now one of the largest electric vehicle infrastructure companies in the world. We bought 2 Tesla Roadsters, and the rest has been history. I'll tell you a little bit about that story. I've since co-founded, and I'm the CEO of both of these organizations, okay? Green Dot which is an electric vehicle infrastructure company. You know, this is my thing, obviously. And what we do is we provision smart charging technology. And I'll go a little bit into that and charging, how that all looks from the perspective of electric vehicles. And then ChargerQuest is my new baby. It's an investment firm, kind of a private equity firm, but we own real estate. We place charging stations on real estate. Picture ATMs. You know how you pay that service fee every time you use them? Well, we're placing charging stations all across Canada, and then we benefit by people using them because they got to pay to use them. So that's ChargerQuest. Okay? So let's talk about a little bit about personality of the entrepreneur real quick. What do you guys think entrepreneurs need to be like? What are some traits?
Friendly and being a people person.
People person. Absolutely. Good one. Anyone else? What are some things? Throw them at me.
Vivacious.
Vivacious. Absolutely. Can you expand on that? What do you mean? Give us an example.
Like, you need to be really out there. You need to be able to do a lot of things in a certain amount of time, and you need to have the creativity to always think ahead of yourself.
Yeah. Awesome answer.
You need to be reasonable. If you have big dreams, if you don't know how to execute it properly, it's really not to do that.
Yeah, you need to assess opportunities, don't you? And you need to assess the risks. You become an expert at looking at risk, assessing it, and typically they are risk takers, aren't they? I'm a risk taker, for sure. Is there a hand over here? Did you have one? No. No? Anybody else over here? Traits? Come on, there's a lot more, guys. Throw them at me. Strategic? Absolutely. Others? What kind of personality do you need to have?
Street smart.
Street smart? Sure. A lot of entrepreneurship is learned by doing. Okay? What is the difference between an entrepreneur and we'll call someone who sort of goes through life on the rails, so to speak? What's really the difference? Why is Branson successful? Right? Why is Elon Musk successful?
They take risks.
They take risks.
Because they don't just go with the flow and go with what's safe.
Yeah, so they don't listen to the noise, right? They listen to their dreams. And what they do is they connect this with this. Heart and mind. When you can combine those two, and you have the traits, confidence. There's another one. Do you have one?
Yeah, they think outside the box rather than going under it, try to break out and go another way.
Yes, they think outside of the box, right? Because often people are going to tell you, you guys are going to go through life like this. I think Michael said this, or Ingrid, you might have said this. People are going to say, no, don't do that. Can you imagine what people said to me when I quit healthcare and 8 years of university to go chase a dream? What do you think they said to me? You're nuts. Insert whatever word you wish. Right? Say it in your head, though, of course. That's what they told me. My parents thought, oh gosh, you're crazy. Everybody I knew, all my best buddies. But you know what? Your friends, the true friends that you will have in life are the ones that are going to build you up, lift you up, and say, Chris, you're a rock star. You're going to get it done, brother. You're going to get on this, and you're going to get it done. And guess what? I did it. And why? Because entrepreneurs act. It's one thing to have a dream and to talk about it. I'm going to do this. I wish I could do this. I don't buy lottery tickets, guys. I print lottery tickets. Do you see what I'm saying? If you think you're going to get wealthy and go through life by buying lottery tickets, go invest the lottery ticket money. You're going to be way further ahead. Okay? When I was, it was about 10 years ago, I bought Tesla stocks. People said, you're absolutely nuts. Right? What are you talking about? Some flash in the pan company that's not going anywhere? I go, yeah, but I love their vision. Elon's the bomb. I own a Roadster. I got to get on this bus because we're starting a company in EV infrastructure. This is 2010-11. And so I bought it. It was a little pricey at the time. It was about 14 bucks. Okay? So I thought, I'll put a little bit of money in it. I didn't have a lot at the time, but I put about 60,000. Well, guess what, guys? That turned into millions, right? Because I invested timely, and then we pulled that out. Guess what we did with that? We funded the world's longest green highway. And that's what we did as co-founders. We developed a company, we funded it ourselves by taking risk, calculated risk. Can somebody hit that? Thank you, sir. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. I forgot which deck I'm using. So we started the world's longest green highway. And the way we did this, entrepreneurs often do things a little bit weird, right? A little bit out of the box. You want to try to get attention. You want to drive the brand that you're promoting. So give me some great brands out there. What are the best brands too, in your head? Give me the best ones. People like Apple. Come on.
Nike.
Nike? Great brand. I mean, that's great. You know, swoosh, right? What else? Microsoft. IKEA? Okay. Swedish for common sense. What else? Give me some other great brands. Iconic brands. Can be something a little off. Sony? Okay. Amazon. What else? Samsung? Okay. So, what are these brands? Why are they important to you? What have they done, do you think, that's gotten into your head to a point where you feel that brand is really special?
I think they marketed it that they're the best option, that nothing else is good enough, that you just decided to use that.
Okay. Would you guys agree with this thought, that somehow they've created an emotional response to the brand? Does that make sense? You feel like you're part of the brand, or there's something that somehow makes you feel better, or makes you feel that you have something that is meaningful in your life. Would you agree with that to a certain degree?
I feel like brands such as like Nike, Adidas, that are iconic. Everybody wears them, so it's like if you're not wearing them, you're not part of anything really. So you want to be a part of it. So it's like they've become so big that you just have to be a part of it emotionally and physically.
Exactly. So let me move on from this thought by saying this. It's a question. What is your brand? Because as you go through life, and whether you get employed, and I encourage you all to go to college, university, do what you got to do. Education is key, okay? I will never discount education. Everything I learned in school, I threw out. But then, no, just kidding. Some of it I did. But you know what I learned? Was how to learn. How to take information, synthesize it, and relate it to the dreams I had in my mind. Okay? Powerful thought there. So think about your own brand. How do you want to be? How do you want them to perceive you? Do you want people to think of you as a confident human being that knows exactly what they want, that when you have a dream, you do your due diligence? You know what that means, due diligence? You do your research, to figure out if it's possible, plausible, if it's something that you could actually be good at and bring to life, right? Those are the things you want to try to create within yourself. And the way to do that is by addressing your fear. Okay? So that's a key word. I tell this to everyone I talk to. It doesn't matter if they're a 50-year-old CEO of a Fortune 500 company, if there's that personality concern, it almost always gets back to fear. Address your fears. So if you don't who doesn't like standing up in front of people talking? Okay? Who wants to join me and come up here and we'll talk? Come on up. You want to address your fears? How to do it? Act.
Today's the day.
Action. You get up and you do it. If you don't think if you're practice, right? You want to be the best OPSA player, you want to be a basketball star, you want to be whatever it is, what do you got to do? Act. Get off your butt, get it done. For me, it means 5 a.m. every single day of my life. I get up at 5 a.m. Okay, my alarm goes off at 5 a.m. What do? Michael loves this. The first thing I do when I get up. What do you guys do when you first get up? Hit the snooze button? Yeah? I used to do that. What I do now at 5 a.m., I get up before my alarm, by the way, usually go 4:55. And so I get up, I make my bed. It's an objective. It's a simple one. I want to start my day by going, I've set a goal, I've achieved my goal, now I can move on. It sounds absolutely stupid, doesn't it? But it's really, really a strong piece of advice. Set simple goals, achieve them, then create bigger goals. Right? Like I've got vision to save the world, to push and accelerate the movement towards electric vehicles and to reduce emissions, control greenhouse gases. That's all lofty stuff, but start by making your bed. Right? Okay. So fear is number one, guys. Know your fears, write them down. If I had a board right here, that's what we should do next time. Does anyone have a whiteboard handy that we can get real quick? No? Don't worry about it. I got a chalkboard.
We can give you something that's like a whiteboard. That should be tricky. You know,
Yeah.
gets it back there?
Yeah, I was just going to scribble a couple words on there so you guys can keep them in your mindset. If you've got it. If not, it's totally cool.
Yeah. This is our whiteboard.
Oh, yeah.
So we just get some tape and then away you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. Perfect. Awesome.
Teacher, tape. Where's the teacher?
Tape. Okay, so,
I'll take care of that.
yeah, awesome. Hey guys, so tell me some of the other fears. Standing up in front of people. What are some other fears you have?
You're trying to fulfill others' expectations.
Yeah. How many of you guys and girls are trying to do things and make choices in your life because you're trying to please mom, dad, grandparents, your buddy, whoever it is? How many of you, you know, when you really think about it, what choices you have made to make them happen? Those other people. We all have, right? No, not you? Awesome. But have you guys? Yeah, everyone's shaking their head. We've all done it. And sometimes you have to, because we're good people. Right? If you love your parents, sometimes you're going to bend a little bit to make them happy, and I hope you do. But the reality is, you're the only person that you really need to look at in the mirror and to understand and please yourself. Okay? So conquer your fears. Write them down, and that's what we're going to do here. The first word I'm going to put is conquer your fears. So if it's public speaking, you know what I recommend you do? Get in front of the mirror, start public speaking. When your teacher says, hey, who wants to contribute? Put up your hand. Contribute. Even if it is so discomforting and your stomach's rotting and you feel like you're going to throw up, get up, do it anyway. Okay? Because trust me, fast forward 5 years, you're going to be able to step up in front of anyone and talk like I can. Okay? The other part is,
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, guys. What about some other fears? Quickly. Deep water, you can't see the bottom of it. There are fears that you may not conquer, right? There are a few. That could be one. So if you have a fear of something, say it's heights, there's some things you can't really get over, right? But what you can do is challenge yourself to do it in a safe way, right? It's always about safety first, so make sure you do that, but conquer those fears. If it's talking to people, here's an interesting scenario, because you guys are the perfect age. I grew up as a typical boy. I liked girls. Okay? So I went to school, and and then I went to university, right? And I was always trying to attract, I was always trying to attract that, the girl to, not settle down, but, I wanted to have friends. But I had this fear. I couldn't go up and talk to any girl. I couldn't do it, right? So one of my buddies, he was a machine. Like, he would just say, well, what's the issue? You go up to her. She says, get lost. I get lost. He goes, but he felt so confident that what does it matter? So think about that for a second. It really doesn't matter, does it? Introduce yourself. Talk to people. It's about networking. Okay, so number one, I want you guys to conquer your fears. I don't write well. Siri does my writing for me most of the time. Fears. Okay, so that's a takeaway today, guys. Conquer your fears. Now back to structure. It's really important, like I said, I'm up before my alarm. I want you guys to set a few structural elements in your life that allow you to really accelerate your own growth. What do you mean by that? It means take the advantage of time. Okay? Where's the greatest wealth in the world? Tell me. Sorry? America. No, but there's a lot of wealth down there. Where's the greatest wealth, guys? What would you say?
The 1%.
Maybe.
Like Dubai, those type of areas.
Dubai. So you're getting at maybe oil, petroleum, okay, maybe tar sands. Okay. What else, guys? Where do we find wealth? Luxembourg? Okay. China, perhaps. Yes. Maybe China and India, where they have huge economies and growth. You're wrong, though, guys. You know where you find the greatest wealth? Buried in a cemetery. You know why I say that? It's all those ideas that were never brought to fruition, and people died with them because they didn't act. That's the greatest wealth. It's right here. In this room, there will be millionaires. There will be people that start Fortune 500 companies. There will be an Apple in this room. There will be a Nike in this room. Because those people act. Okay? They realize their dreams. What's the worst that can happen? A small dream comes true. So why not dream big, right? Okay? So remember that. Action. So that's the big thing with entrepreneurs. Act. Okay? Took me a while to learn that one, but I got off my butt and got her done. Okay, so here it is. Let me tell you a little bit about our company. We'll talk about cars. And by the way, if you guys have a question at any moment, shoot up your hand and I'll do my best. So Green Dot is into electric vehicle infrastructure, right? So we create charging stations, the fueling stations of the future. Okay? Do you guys know about charging stations? Okay. So there's different levels of charging for electric cars. All right? There's what we call a level 1, and that's like charging your iPhone, right? 110, 120 volt in your wall, plug it in. If I had my Tesla here and I plugged it into a 110, we'd be here for 3.5 days. Okay? Not too bad. You know, unless you want to commute and get to your job on time or whatever. Doesn't work well. Level 2 is 208 to 240 volt. Okay, so you've got a panel in here somewhere. Where's your volt? Is there one in here somewhere? Maybe not. Yeah, there is.
There's an actual outlet back there for 220.
You see it right back there? There's your 220 volt service entrance. That panel on the wall. So you've got breakers, right? So level 2 charging stations are wired, hardwired into that service entrance. And then we mount it on a wall, on a pedestal with a bollard mount, right? We run conduit up, we mount it up. I'll show you a picture in a second. That's level 2. What that means is now I can energize my car a lot quicker, right? So there's 2 things you need to know about electric cars as far as range and charging time. So if I had my Tesla here, and I'm so sorry I didn't bring it today, but if it was parked right there and we plugged into level 2, how many hours do you think it would take for me to have enough juice to be able to get back to Grand Bank? 40 minutes. Anybody else? A couple hours. 12, 13 hours.
Maybe a day.
I'm about 210, 200 and something kilometers. Okay, so a lot of good answers here. If I wanted a couple hundred kilometers, I'm probably looking at about 3 to 4 hours on average, but it depends on a couple of variables, right? The level 2 charger can be larger or smaller. So if I have a 100 amp level 2, and which is the biggest one, Sun Country Highway produces it, that will spit out approximately 19.4 kilowatts. Okay, I'm trying to do amps and kilowatts here. 19.4 kilowatts. So if I have a 78 kilowatt, well, let's make the math easy. If I have a 100 kilowatt battery pack, like a Tesla Model S P100D, which is a rockin' car, it's 100 in about 2.6 seconds. That 100 kilowatt pack will require what? 19.4 kilowatts, 100 kilowatt pack. I'm roughly going to get, right, 100 kilometers in an hour. If I'm doing my math correctly in my head. That's how it converts to range, about 100K an hour. Now, if it was a 7.2 kilowatt, 30 amp charging station, smaller level 2, that's going to stretch the time out. So the real factors are twofold. One, size of the level 2. Number 2, size of the pack and the onboard charging capability of the car. What that means is, how much energy will my car allow me to derive from the charging station? The charger is just an appliance. It's the car's smarts and the software that determine how much energy I can pull from the charger. Okay? That's level 2. Now there's level 3. And this gentleman up front, what's your name? Avril? Avril?
A-V-O-Y,
Avril, awesome. Mine's Christmas. So, anybody chuckle? Christmas? Good time of year for it. Level 3 is now taking it to a whole different level. Has anyone seen the superchargers out in the highway for Teslas? Awesome, those are level 3. Okay, so now you're pulling north of 100 kilowatts out of these puppies, and we're exactly where this gentleman, Avoy, said, around 40 minutes potentially from 0 in my car. So the time it takes for me to have my coffee, although I've had this one for an hour, I can stop at a Tim Hortons in Woodstock, Ontario, and by the time I'm halfway done this coffee, I've got several hundred kilometers put right back in my Tesla. And then I jump in the car and off I go. Amazing.
So level 3, autonomous vehicles, that's what you're talking about, right? Aren't there problems with
I'm not talking about autonomous vehicles, just electric vehicles in general, but autonomous vehicles are certainly in development. Yeah.
Well, what's the comparison between the cost of charging it versus the cost of gas?
Yes, good question. I will get to that right now. That's good. Okay, guys, can I move on from that? Any other questions? Do you guys want to know a little bit about what it's like to drive one of these vehicles? Shoot questions at me. I've logged 200,000 kilometers in cars.
Isn't the car like, there's like no buttons, it's all screen?
Yes. Yeah, the Model S, Model X, Model 3, they've got a 17-inch, generally 17-inch screen in it. There's really nothing you do. The car can be summoned. So, for example, I'll be leaving my house with my kids, I'll summon the car, it automatically opens the garage, car pulls out, comes up to my door, all heated on, heated steering wheel, everything's ready to rock. All my settings, chair adjusts because I set it. If my wife did it, the chair would adjust to her. Then we just get in the vehicle, it's already ready to roll. That's the summon feature, which ties into a little bit of autonomous driving. Pretty remarkable. But yeah, everything's done on a touchscreen.
I also heard that Tesla is super expensive in terms of maintenance. Like if something breaks or something goes damaged, is it really expensive or is it just compared to like a regular car?
Another amazing question. I'm going to get into total cost of ownership here shortly. Teslas aren't cheap. Roadsters are a couple $100,000 back in the day. The Model X's, Model S's, well equipped, well north of 100 grand. Model 3, on the other hand, very good bargain, right? You're looking at about 50 grand, okay? And you don't have fuel, and your maintenance is less than a quarter. It's the opposite. However, Teslas have unlimited torque. Think of like a drill. When you fire that drill, it has a kick. It's instant, right? It's linear. It's boom, on. Teslas are like that. That's what makes them so quick. That's electric vehicles in general. Electric drive is instant, the torque. You're not worried about double clutching, mission shifts, RPMs, maximizing horsepower torque ratios, all that stuff, which is really fun when you're driving an ICE car. ICE, right? Internal combustion engine. But in an electric car, they're very, very quick. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah? You? Yeah?
Okay, so the first time you stepped into your electric car,
Yeah.
after driving a conventional car, what you're driving, you turned it on, what were the first things what was that, conjure up some of those sensations, images, kinds of feelings for us?
Yeah, well, I'm going to play a little video in a minute, but you're absolutely, she nailed it, because it's emotional. You think of a gas car, the vroom, the vibration. Like, have you ever been in a vehicle that has all of those characteristics, right? You know, like, let's say you're in your dream, your R34, your dream car, right? Or a Mustang, any of those, cars where you feel the vroom. An electric car is not that. It's completely benign. It's completely boring from the point of view of sensory. It is laying there. It could be on right now. Wait for it. No. There's nothing. It makes more noise charging the car than it does driving it. What you do hear? Wheel noise. You'll hear a little bit of the rubber on the road. In a roadster, you hear an electric whine, which I will tell you is intoxicating. It is lovely. You hear it as you take off. Isn't that a cool sound? It sounds like a giant mosquito is chasing you. That's what it feels like. But the experience is insane because you've left your stomach back at the light. It's that quick. When I first got in a roadster, my buddy had it first. He got his silver one. You'll see it here, Kent Rathwell. He pulls up and goes, "Chris, get in." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I gotta get in." 2 6-foot guys in a little car that's the size of like a Miata. We get in, so we're shoulder to shoulder. I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." And all of a sudden he pinned it, and my head went, in my face. I could feel it pulling back to my seat, right? The sheer acceleration in the vehicle is mind-blowing. It really, really is. Google and YouTube all the little drag races that Teslas are doing, and they're beating all the supercars. That is what it's like. You just stomp on it, and the thing takes off. Electric traction control works way more effectively. The grip, the acceleration. So from an emotional experience, it's awesome.
Oh, and I don't know if you'll answer this question later on, but
yeah, I might.
Buying a hybrid car is better than buying a fully electric car. If we were planning on buying, the Chrysler Pacifica and how they just made a hybrid version of it.
Yeah.
We were gonna buy it the first year it came out, but since it was the first year, my dad decided to buy the regular one instead of the fully hybrid one. So
yeah.
I think it's better to buy a hybrid than versus a fully electric because you still have the gas option.
No. But I mean, I'm converted, right? I'm educated. Once you get there, once you understand and you've driven it, and you rework your life, an electric car is the way to go. You guys, that's all you're going to be driving. Mark my words. That's all you're going to be driving. They're already banning electric cars globally. Gas cars globally. Even the province of British Columbia is not allowing the sale of gasoline-powered vehicles as early as 2040. India, France, all the countries are starting to line up. They're banning gas cars. Big automotive companies are spending more on R&D on electric than anything else. Volkswagen Group, etc. Okay? Yeah. Now I'm going to move on.
How long will it be before the electric car becomes a financially sustainable option for
They already are. Okay? I'll leave that one with you, but I'm going to paint that picture a little better. There are vehicles out there, guys, that you can buy for the same price as the gas equivalents today. And that's going to only roll out over the next 5 years more and more and more. There's going to be over 300 models in the next 3 years. Incredible, okay? I'm going to take 2 more real quick, and then I got to move on.
Would you rather get an F-150 or a Cybertruck?
Cybertruck. I've already placed a deposit. Pardon me? Hydrogen cars. I think they're fantastic, but I think There's some great fleet applications. There's some great applications for it. I think it's a great step in the right direction. But I truly feel the future is 100% electric. Not just in cars, by the way. We need to move to the bigger stuff. Pickup trucks, top-selling vehicles in the world, but also some of the biggest polluters, right? Cybertruck, Rivian, the electric F-150. Others are all coming out, okay? And I do love trucks. Cybertruck, ooh, that was a little crazy at the beginning, but it was awesome. Okay, so let's talk about chargers. This is our product right here. This is on a pedestal. Those are 2 level 2 charging stations. What's really, really cool, you guys all have smartphones. You can walk right up. You can pay to use the charging station using Android Pay, Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit card, beep, or use an app. Okay, you scan the QR code, it opens up, tap your credit card, you pay. Okay? Very easy to operate. A lot of our charging stations across the country are free to use as well, but there's a real movement towards economic sustainability. That first mover advantage was very important, right? Let's bring the affluent people with the cool cars to you because they're going to spend money at your business. So I'll give away the electricity. That's changing, right? 1 in 10 cars in BC that are sold today are electric. Norway, the top-selling car in the entire country is Tesla. Okay? 75% of all cars in that country are electric, sold every day. Gas cars are now being outlawed, and they won't happen very soon. They've incentivized them. It's all moving that direction. Okay, so we've got fully networked capability. There's a real-time dashboard. I can be anywhere in the world and find out what my charging stations are doing and how much money they're making when people are utilizing them with charge requests. So that's the technology piece that's now evolving and is right here for the taking. Okay, that's called innovation, right? And there's IP. Does anyone know what IP is?
Internet protocol?
No? That is true, though. Intellectual property. When you are an entrepreneur, you talk about IP. Anybody watch Shark Tank? Okay, I haven't had cable in 15 years. However, because I don't really watch TV, I find it's a waste of time. But when I do want to do it, I kind of do a short binge. Anybody binge? They'll binge watch. I'll watch like Shark Tank for a couple episodes, and you know, that stuff just gets me going because I love seeding and looking at new companies. But IP, very important. Okay, I'm going to add that. That's how important that is. You want to make sure you have some intellectual property. When you start a business, if you want to have investors attracted to your business, or if you want to grow a business, you have to have some sort of intellectual property, right? Then you can license it. You can sell it. You can establish channel partners. You can retail it. That empowers your company to succeed, okay? All right, boss, thank you. Here we are. So this goes back to 2011, 2012. Look at that, a 2012 Chevy Volt. Chevy Volts were one of the first electric cars that came out. That's the silver Roadster in the background behind us. The guy on the left is Kent Rathwell. I'm on the right. We are in St. John's, Newfoundland, I believe. So what we did, we took a 7-figure amount of money and we put our charging stations in across our country. This is called guerrilla marketing. Okay, that's kind of where my expertise lies nowadays. So we decided to model the Trans-Canada Highway. Does anyone know about Trans-Canada Highway? Where does it go?
It goes from Halifax all the way to Vancouver.
Yeah, or St. John's, Newfoundland, because don't forget Newfoundland. Newfoundland, Labrador, all the way, you're right, to Fino Beach, British, what a place. To Fino Beach, British Columbia, okay? Where you can hang 10 on a surfboard. So what we did was we installed 80 charging locations, 80. Every 200 kilometers, approximately, we get a few extras, along the Trans-Canada, from St. John's, Newfoundland to Fino Beach. And we took a Tesla Roadster, that exact car. We had an entourage and a trailer with a backup Roadster in there. And we drove during Canadian winter, this time of year actually. We drove that car, Kent and I flip-flopped in and out, so we could be home and spend some time with our families, all the way across Canada on our own dime. What we were proving was electric cars are viable, they can go in the snow, And they don't have to be ugly, slow, right? They can be something pretty cool. Okay, if you could click on that, we play a short video, and you guys will actually see us taking this trip. Oh, yeah, you need to open that. There you go. It's about 5 minutes. You just want to see my car.
The world's largest, greenest highway project, Sun Country Highway, is all about creating the infrastructure for personalized.
Yes, yeah, it's actually about allowing the industry to move forward. Because for the last 110 years, the industry has always been stopped because the infrastructure wasn't here. So the concept's real simple. Put in the infrastructure, and one of the biggest countries in the world with the most diverse geography and climate.
We're just coming from Newfoundland, heading to Victoria, BC, in this 100% electric car to prove that you can travel coast to coast in one of the largest countries in the world, one of the most geographic and climate diverse, in the middle of Canadian winter.
Here's an example charging station, and your mission with Sun Country Highway is to create the infrastructure of the charging stations. So you're partnering with businesses like hotels, for example.
Basically what we've done is went across Canada and said, look, we'll provide the charger. You provide the install. It's a win-win program, so all the partners have actually bought into the movement. So that's restaurants, hotels, tourist locations. It's a way for businesses to attract people to their establishments.
We take you now to Regina, where the bitter cold isn't stopping a bright idea. CBC's Jeff Leo has the story.
Kent Rockwell has set up more than 100 of these charging stations across the country. High-speed chargers designed to give electric cars a fast boost.
Take care. Yeah. Yeah, sure. No problem. Okay, so you want to talk to John Gorman, dude?
There you go. So, interesting little video we compiled after our little trip. Obviously, that's a synthesis of a whole bunch of stops. So, guerrilla marketing, guys, is that. We basically created, as you notice, there was Peter Mansbridge, there's a whole bunch of media attention. So what we did to officially launch our brand was we built the world's longest green highway, then we drove across Canada and we did media events, 80 of them. We invited the mayor, we had a team that would call ahead, do a press release, so we were always in the newspapers, on television, and then what we found as we did that people started calling saying, I want one of those. That's called guerrilla marketing. Leveraging the power of media, social media, and other means to achieve exposure to your brand. Okay? So, I don't think we need to argue the point, right? But electric vehicles in Ontario, in particular, it's relatively clean energy that we're using, okay, to power electric vehicles. Obviously, they're emission-free. So from the moment electric vehicle comes into existence, replacing a gas vehicle, we've just eliminated all emissions. Okay, go ahead. Let's talk about cost of ownership. You brought that up. Very important piece, total cost of ownership. And if you are going to make a decision to purchase an electric car, and by the way, we're going to put you into that decision-making mindset here shortly, you want to understand the total cost of ownership. What are costs associated with an electric vehicle? The charging. So electricity cost.
There's maintenance.
Maintenance.
Yeah, that was just like brakes, tires, that.
Brakes, tires, typical stuff. What else?
Battery degradation.
Battery degradation?
Yeah.
Maybe. What else? Any others? Okay. What about the cost of the car or the vehicle? That's probably the biggest part. Okay. So that is the biggest part. So when you factor in the price of the vehicle, okay, then you look at your fuel costs, okay. Right now in Ontario we're paying 10.7 cents per kilowatt hour off peak, right? So it's gone up a little bit. It used to be about 10, or maybe it's 10 too. 10, we'll call it 10 cents. So that's what you're paying to energize your car. Most people top up their vehicle at home, right? I go into my house, I plug my car in, I have my car set to charge at the optimum time, lowest cost. I go to bed, I wake up, my car's always full. What a concept. I only use public chargers when I'm out and about, like really going somewhere far, 2, 3, 4, 500 kilometers, right? Otherwise, I don't need to do it. My electricity bill on a monthly basis, typically, on top of my normal usage, is about $32 a month. So I drive an electric supercar for $32 a month. And I drive over 2,000 kilometers a month. Crazy. If I had the gas equivalent, I'll tell you about a car I used to own. One of my last gas cars was a BMW. Really nice, 750, V8, 400 horsepower, okay? But boy, did it love gasoline. I generally spent $1,500 to $1,800 a month, depending on where I was going, because I've always been, I travel extensively. So think of that math. The 750 is interesting because the cost of it is north of $100,000. So if you look at it from a parity level, luxury car to luxury car, 100,000, 100,000, I'm already saving over $1,700 bucks a month if I drive it a lot. Now the maintenance, an oil change in that BMW, if I went to BMW, was almost $400, right? But regardless, let's talk about maintenance. All I've ever replaced in the Tesla, everything's covered by warranty, The battery is typically warranted for life, okay? There have been Teslas out on the road that have now hit 1 million miles. 1 million. Same pack. Okay? How many engines in the world, ICE, have reached 1 million miles that aren't in transport trucks? Most of them have needed to be rebuilt or replaced. The cost of replacement is thousands. Okay, so that's how the equation. General maintenance, I replace my wipers. The brakes generally last 4 times longer because you have regenerative braking. So when you're driving, you never touch the brakes in an electric car unless you need to stop in an emergency. It has engine braking, like engine braking, right? So it's called regenerative braking. While I take my foot off the accelerator, the car comes to a stop on its own while putting juice back into the pack. So the brakes last at least 4 times longer. I have almost 200,000 kilometers on my car and have never changed the brakes, never had to do anything to the brakes. How many gas cars can you say that? 0. Okay? The other thing is tires. Some electric cars like deep tires. Teslas are one of them. When you have 700 foot-pounds of torque in a Model S, you're going to eat a few tires. So, cost of doing business, right? Cost of driving a vehicle like that. So, in a nutshell, it's about 1/3 or less the total cost of running that vehicle. Okay? Make sense? Now, you don't have to buy a $100,000 Tesla. You can buy a Kia Kona electric. You can buy a Bolt. There's a lot. Volkswagen's bringing out ID Buzz and all kinds of different things. There's all kinds of vehicles coming out. The Golf electric, the Nissan Leaf is a great vehicle. With the federal incentives out right now, you're buying a great electric car for 35 grand. That's the price of a Honda Accord, almost loaded. Okay? I think I've got, I'm over time, aren't I?
Keep going.
Am I okay? Okay, I'll get through this quick, guys. So I just want to point out what's happening in the industry really quick, all right? Look at the number of EVs that are going to be on the road in the next few years. Over 1 million, okay? And that's just what we think, but what we're seeing is cumulative year-over-year growth approaching 40+% year-over-year. So every few years, it's doubling, right? It's pretty impressive. All the big automakers are putting all their research and development money into electric vehicles. They're not even funding the development of gas vehicles. If they do, it's about efficiency and compliance. They're not releasing new vehicles. I mentioned BMW. BMW has already made an announcement that they're going to be moving most of their vehicles, if not all of them, purely electric in the next 10 to 15 years. So that's the movement that's happening. Lots of vehicles coming on the road. Here's a few options. The ranges are getting bigger. The capability to charge is getting faster. The reliability is through the roof. The highest crash test ratings ever recorded are in electric vehicles. Everything's pointing in that direction. Okay? Thank you, sir. Here's some incentives. Here's a few other good examples of electric vehicles. You can do your own research. All of these they range from anywhere from 30 grand all the way up to 100,000. So again, just like any gas car, you can spend a heck of a lot of dough on a gas car, right? But you can buy something that's a little bit cheaper. You're going to find, though, that that's going to get the difference is going to get smaller until they're equal or less. EVs are going to be cheaper than gas cars one day. Okay? Oh, good. Here it is. The assignment. Do you want me to talk to it, or you want to go ahead?
You can talk to it.
Or whatever you want.
No, go ahead.
Put it on
Please.
the board, I think you can talk to it.
Okay, perfect. So, guys, we're going to give you all a little assignment. It's a synthesis of all the information that I've thrown at you today. I know it's been a lot of info, so hopefully it's marinating in there. My goal was really to open your eyes to the electric vehicle industry, give you a snapshot of that, but also to, more importantly, talk about innovative technology and entrepreneurship. So I'm going to linger as well while the assignment's up. I encourage you guys, come find me, okay? If there's a probing question you want to ask me, I'm going to be here for you. So if I can mentor you, give you a little guidance, okay? So that's after. But for now, here's your assignment. Is this a group assignment, guys?
Yes,
It
they're
is.
teams.
Teams. So we're going to be putting you in teams. You are going to make a decision. So let's say I just cut you all a check for $40,000. Yes! Everybody gets 40 grand. I feel like Ellen DeGeneres here. Everybody gets $40,000. Okay? But you have to buy an electric vehicle. So you need to make a decision, right? Purchasing an electric, or am I going to still go buy a gas car? Okay? From a social, so you're going to look at it through 3 lenses. The social lens, do you know what I mean by that? Impact on the environment, or impact on humanity, the societal impact, what it means to you, to families, to our next generation. Environmental impact, I think that's pretty straightforward. And then the economic perspective. We can never ignore the economic perspective. So think about financially. So that total cost of ownership discussion factors into that. And you're going to compare them. So I want to see you guys have pros and cons and your ultimate decision. And for a bonus mark, maybe throw in there what type of vehicle you would purchase. Whether it's a traditional vehicle or an electric vehicle. What would it be? And why? Okay?
Thank you so very much. We have a big hand for Christmas. Thank you so much. Okay. So, we're just going to environmental. There we go. And so, what do you think? Did you learn a lot? Yes? Were a lot of things you didn't know that you assumed were different? Anyone learn? What did you learn? Yes? A lot? Yes?
I thought electric car wouldn't be popular, but then that would make it popular and look like all gas cars.
Yeah.
I thought it would be.
Was that a gorgeous car? Seriously, how many of you think that was a gorgeous car that drove across Canada? Yes? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. So we're seeing a little bit of a look, though. It's that mid-morning look. So...
Rise! Rise. Oh my God.
That's why I rather just my knees hurt. I think traditional is a vintage.
Okay. Quiet over here. One second. Okay, so we're going to do a little stretching. That's what it's about, yes. Okay, stretching. Lift those arms up. Stretching, moving to the side. If it doesn't hurt, you're not doing it right. Move to the next side. Oh, yes. Okay. Touch your toes. Slow down. Yes. Back up. Back up. Okay. Okay, now take one arm like this. Yes. Right? If it doesn't hurt, you're not doing it right. Take the other arm, same thing. Perfect. Okay. Now let's clean the peanut butter jar. Go. Clean the peanut butter jar. Clean the peanut butter jar. Left again, right. Right and left. Beautiful. Yes, Michael.
Oh, they're stretching?
Yes, we're just stretching.
What is ice? Ice is literally the integration of
That's probably the pizza.
Is that pizza? So I'm going to go and I'll start with this. Okay.
I might. Okay. Yeah. Let me then have them call you.
Okay, so innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. What? Okay. Okay, so lunch will be at 12 o'clock. Pizza's here. It'll be nice and hot by the time you finish this. We're going to just go till 12 o'clock today. We're going to do a little bit of teamwork. We're talking about, remember, innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship, which is ICE. Okay? So innovation is the generalization and realization of a new idea, which is exactly what Chris Mish and this whole idea of this gorgeous electric car did that exactly. Identified an unmet need, right? So what do you need to do that? What kinds of things? What's important to identifying an unmet need? How do you do that? How do you look out there and do that? What does that require? Go ahead.
I've seen people that want something. If there's consumer demand, you have to fulfill it.
Very good. And to do that, you know what's really helpful to do that is empathy. What is empathy? Yes, what is it?
Putting yourself in somebody else's shoes.
Brilliant. That's exactly right. And empathy is so important to be innovative. Right? To be innovative, you've got to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes. Take a look around. This is a very diverse classroom. Right? What does that mean? Are all needs uniform? Are all the needs yes, are they the same? Within this classroom, different people have different needs, right? What are some of those needs? When you're thinking of buying a car, for instance, what are some of those needs? What do you think of?
Safety.
Safety? Yes, so it's got to be runny, you've got to be able to rely on it, right? Very good, yes. So that would be a need. So whatever you come up with, it's got to be safe, right? Is the Tesla a safe car?
Yes. You got 5 star crash test.
Pardon?
You got like a 5-star crash test.
Yes. So it's really safe, right? Okay, what else is there that you need? When you think of a car, what do you think of? What is a safe? What other needs are there? When you think of other people, what are? Range, okay. So are you convinced now that the range is something that is acceptable or good or desirable? No, you're not convinced. You're not convinced. Okay, anyone else? Okay, how many people are convinced that the range is good? Like there's enough range that you feel safe driving the car? Okay, hands up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the rest not.
Wait, are we talking
About, yes, the range. Like,
Do
so
we
you
have
do feel
anything
safe.
going? We have radio on, we have heat going, like anything like that. Because that greatly, like, makes it different.
Okay, but, okay. So these are the kinds of things that you need to think about when you tackle the problem when you're in your small groups. So we're going to put you in groups momentarily, and those are the kinds of things that you need to think about, okay? Because remember what the problem was, how to decide elective or traditional. And the different points of views or lenses you want to look through, social, economic, and environmental, right? So those are good points you raise and good questions. And those are the kinds of things that will impact your decision, right? So very good. Okay, so but empathy is very, very important in order to determine whether electric or traditional, or whether consumers will, to determine whether you think this will fly on a larger scale. You've got to think about, be empathetic. Put yourself in the shoes of the different kinds of buyers or the different kinds of decision makers out there, consumers, right? Okay, so creativity. So what can you say in terms of different kinds of being able to shift lenses, okay, being able to shift perspectives is a big part of being innovative and creative and an entrepreneur, right? So what you need to do is figure, okay, for yourselves, when you're making this decision, you've got to shift your lenses and put yourself in different shoes and think creatively, think outside the box. Is this going to meet the needs of yourself or someone else? If yes, why? If not, why not? Okay? Entrepreneurship, activities that build, scale, sustain new ideas into an organization, okay? So in this case, I want you to get into your groups and think about how this could be made more accessible maybe to different consumers in your age group. Okay? Go ahead. The groups are going to be, so you've got 45, let's say 5 people in each group. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to number from 1 to 5, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So we're going to all the lines go in one, get in the first row. Okay. I used to be taller than you. Used to be. Everyone gets their own group, okay? So group number 1.
No, I was 3.
It is being transmitted. Okay, can you guys just find where the post is? Just because we don't want the camera being on.
Yeah? So what you do is give her a prize. So you have to get the prize.
No.
And that would be something. Okay. Everyone, in your group. Okay. Everyone in their groups now. I'm going to hand out the first stage, gear 1. So there are 3 gears to this process.